Hey guys, Dev here at WeBuyHouses.com. Welcome to episode number 29 of the Cash Offer Masterclass series. Today we've got something special for you. I was going to sneak peek it here at you. Look at this. We've got a manufactured home. It's not just a manufactured home. They've added to it as time went by. And so, it looks pretty interesting. Now, this really raises the question of, do we buy mobile homes? In most cases, the answer to that question is no, we don't buy mobile homes. Why? Because a mobile home is not like a single family property, single family residence. It's not sitting on a slab. It's not a permanent fixture. It could be carted away in the night. Someone could come steal your mobile home, just like they could steal your car. And I think that's kind of what really comes down to it, is that a mobile home doesn't appreciate like a house. It depreciates like a car. And over time, you would just wheel it off and wheel a new one on and have you a new house. And so that's not the same as single family residences. So, when do we like a mobile home, or when would we consider buying a mobile home? We would consider buying it if it's on your land or on the person's land that's selling it. They have an asset to sell. They're selling the land, and the mobile home is sitting on the land. And yes, it is an additional asset, and there is some value to it. But you have to own the underlying land, or a real estate investor has nothing to buy. We don't buy boxes. We buy dirt, with stuff on it. So, but I thought this one was kind of interesting. I've seen these in states all around here in the South, where a mobile or manufactured home will be positioned, and then sometimes they build stuff all around it. Workshops and garages and swimming pools and all kinds of stuff. So just because there's a mobile home there doesn't make it, worthless or to an investor, but it's got to be about the land and, the totality of the situation and the opportunity. So this home today is brought to us by our friends at Fazio Real Estate Solutions. And as you can see in the picture, we'll get up closer to it as time goes by. But it is a mobile home with some extensions built onto it, as I mentioned. And it is at 165 Ashley Avenue in Streetman, Texas. And so, where is this Streetman, Texas? It is actually on Richard Chambers Reservoir, which is down there south and east of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Now, we'll tell you guys, if you're a fisherman, you would like this spot, because Richard Chambers Reservoir is a great lake for fishing. From my understanding, I'm not a huge fisherman, but I've been on a fishing trip there. I know guys that fish and they like it. And so, man, to have a place right there, kind of on the edge, you're not looking at the lake, but you're right down the street from it. And what do we also have? We've got a Family Dollar. Okay. Once you have a Family Dollar and a pizza place there, Joe's Pizza, St. Elmo, if you got a Family Dollar and a pizza place, you have 80% of what a human needs to survive. And so I think those are positives. And a Baptist church. Go to church. That's the other thing you need as a human. You need some sort of thing that, to recognize that there is a God. So, all right, let's jump into this. We're going to come on back over here and remind ourselves, what is this? This is a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom, built in or around 1,792 square feet. Sits on half an acre. Honestly, it looks like more than half an acre in the pictures, but that's what it is. It's a half an acre lot. And they say the ARV is 115 for the property, and they're offering it for 35. Now, I don't know about you guys, but there's not many properties in the state of Texas that can be had for $35,000. There's just not many of them. So whether it had an outhouse on it or a boathouse or a mobile home, hey, $35,000. We should at least consider this. Is this someplace that we would like as a, what did they say? With TLC, great potential as a weekend retreat, rental, or flip. I don't know if this is the most beautiful retreat, but like I showed you on the map, I do really like where it is. I mean, we're right there on one of the best reservoirs in Texas. So that sounds pretty cool to me. Now, what is this property really worth? You guys know the ARV is provided by the wholesaler. It's up to us to verify if that ARV is correct or if we believe that ARV at 115. I went and did some Googling and I found, some funny things about this property since it is a mobile home and it's not, a typical property. It doesn't have the same kind of records that you would see in the county, say, for example, for a single family home. Zillow shows it at 179 for some reason. I have no idea because when I come down here, that doesn't show as their Zestimate. They say they have no Zestimate. They think you could rent this place for $2,000. Good luck. But and they have no pricing or price history on the home, or value history. So, man, Zillow's kind of I don't know where they got that number. All right, cool enough. And we could look at the photos, but we're not going to because we got some better photos, I think, from the wholesaler. If we go over to Realtor, again, you're kind of starting to see this. It's like not the same amount of information you would get if it was a single family home. It's a mobile home, and as a result of that being the property type, for example, they have no imagery of it, no picture of the house, anything like that. Their information does seem to jive. They say 185 on the value. It wasn't on anything else I looked at. I did look at Property Radar, and they said 165,892 on the value. So what are we seeing here? We're seeing an average of Zillow, Realtor, and Property Radar of 176. But when we come back here, the wholesaler is only claiming this property to have an ARV of 115, $60,000 below what the external sources are saying. I don't, by the way, have this set up right. I need to be at about $90. $90 would be 161. What if I was at 95? I'm kind of figuring out my dollars per square foot. I'm trying to get to 176. 97, we're at oh man, we're getting so close. 99 is 177. I'm going to go 98. 175. Okay, we're going to go 175, 616. You can see how $1 per square foot kind of throws the whole thing off, and we're trying to hit something around 176. That's cool. I'm pretty sure this is too much. And so I just thought I would show this, if we were an investor looking at this deal and we went out and we got these values, the values are telling us something around 175, 176. The wholesaler's telling us 115 as the ARV. That's pretty unusual. If you've been watching these videos with me, you've noticed that most of the time the wholesaler wants more money or more for the ARV, or they claim the ARV to be higher than what we find it to be by looking at our external sources. That makes this another one just kind of interesting. Number one, it's a manufactured home. Number two, it's got an ARV 60K less than what we were finding it. And number three, it's a super cheap property at $35,000. So we need to figure out what is going on here. And is there any way that this could be a deal for a real estate investor? All right, let's see. I think we got go back to our model. We put in our address, square feet. We figured out our ARV. We figured out our dollars per square foot to be at that ARV is 98. These are residue from the last thing we did. Okay. So this house or property, I'll just call it property, if it was worth 175 and it was in excellent condition, we could pay 123. Now, we know it's not going to be in excellent condition because they're asking about $90,000 less than that amount. So let's go figure out, what the heck do we have here? What is this? Is this an opportunity? Could we make it an opportunity? Is there something here for a real estate investor? Let's jump into the pictures. All right. And we have, you can see, kind of gotten wise to what the wholesalers do. It's a JPEG. These are their pictures, and that's awesome. We want to see their pictures, the original. Whoops. Stop it. Why won't that blue box go away? And then down here we see the Zillow screen prints, basically. So we could just go to Zillow and click on these and kind of see the pictures in there for those pics. So we're really mostly interested in the ones that are the JPEGs that are provided by the wholesaler. Let's jump into them. We're going to see things out of sequence. This is what I've noticed about, when we get these things from wholesalers, they don't put their photos in any sort of sequence. They're not really trying to sell us on the house. They're just trying to, well, here's the pictures we got. You can look at them. I, as a wholesaler, would think about that. I would think about numbering my pictures, Streetman House 1, Street 01, Streetman House 02, Streetman, and then I would sequence them in the way I wanted the cash buyer to discover the photos. Now, what do we see here? We are out in front of the property, and if you remember from the picture I showed at the beginning, this property had a porch built out in front of what this structure right here, in essence, is the mobile or manufactured home. And then they've added a big garage type thing over there on the side of it. But what we see right away is that for the porch is gone. The frame is there, but the porch is mostly gone. Okay, we got that. So you see the picture from the front. Look, oh, nice shaded porch. I think I'll sit out there and have a mimosa, and you go out there and like, nah, bro, you're not sitting out there in the sunlight. You will be fully exposed. All right, so this is, again, the sequencing. We don't know where we are, but we're going to be back around this big building over here because it's the 2-story part. And there is, something to notice here. How did they get to 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 1,792 square feet? They totaled up the main house, which is the mobile home, is 3 bedroom, 2 bath. And then the garage apartment that they built on has a 1 bedroom, 1 bath garage, 1 bedroom, 1 bath apartment in that garage. And that is the stair, I'm guessing, up to the 1 bed, 1 bath apartment that's on top of the garage. And you would might consider it an additional dwelling unit or ADU if it was accessible externally, and the people in there were isolated from the people in the main house. You could rent this out as a separate property if you owned it. So here again, we're seeing that somebody put a bunch of work into that porch, and then something happened to it. That I guess they tore it off and demoed it, preparing to put it back down or something. I don't really know. Whoops. Sorry, guys. I got a little lost there. All right. So looking back, I think there's some other buildings on the property. I think it said that, storage sheds, full chain link fencing, etc. So there's some additional storage, buildings on the property. All right, let's just keep on going. We're at 165, y'all. And there we can see that beautiful property, the storage building on the left, the main mobile or manufactured home in the middle, the added on garage with garage apartment on the right. You know, it's got some space to it. You know, there's a lot of space that you could live in or store in. You know, it doesn't, it doesn't yeah, compared to a single family residence, I wouldn't want it. But if I lived out in Streetman, Texas, far southeast on that lake, on that reservoir, this could be a sportsman's dream home. You know, he could have his boats out here, he or she have their boats out here, have, all their stuff, living on the lake, living the lake life. That could be a scenario here for this property. And it's got a satellite dish, which is extremely important, especially if you don't have any sort of cable. I think we're on the back side now of the property. So before we saw the front, and you can see where they've joined this structure onto what was the original. And this could be a mobile home, and I guess they all are, but it does look, as far as mobile versus manufactured, I would call it more of a manufactured home. It doesn't look exactly like a mobile home. And sometimes the manufactured home is actually like two mobiles joined within kind of an A-frame ceiling, and they seal them together, and you've got a pretty good size internal space, to be honest, when you put, when you create a double wide. And again, the back porch to the single 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment over the garage. Can't wait to get in there, right? I don't know about you guys, but I'm just $35,000. Come on, the discount on this thing is absolutely nuts. So what is going on in there? Well, we've got power coming into the property right here. And we've got a roof that nobody ever thought about raking the pine needles off of over many, many years. And no big deal. Roof, well, what did they say about all the big five? Do your due diligence, do your due diligence. These are red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag, right? Because they're saying, instead of no known issues, they're saying do your due diligence means there's probably something wrong with that. You need to pay attention. The roof doesn't look horrible from this photo, but it's just so hard to tell. And I do think this place really desperately needs to be painted. If you don't paint your external surfaces, they will fall apart. I mean, it's the quickest way to destroy a house is to not paint it and just let nature have its way with your house. Oh, wow, there's the power line coming in. There's that external building we saw that was off to the left when we were looking at it from the front. I think that's just like an extra kind of like garage kind of thing. And you see it over there. Oh, they got a well. Maybe it's a wishing well. You could throw some pennies in there. All your dreams could come true. Your dream of owning this beautiful property could come true if you throw in your lucky penny, but it's got to be the lucky penny. I don't think anything really works except for the lucky penny and the wishing well. Okay, so now we're looking at that storage building. A lot of buildup of pine needles. We're out in the country. This is kind of what we'd expect. Yeah, little rough. We haven't even gotten inside this place. And you know what? We're just clicking through these pictures, and I have this real fear right now swelling up in me that we are not going to see inside of this property. They just keep showing us this crap outside. It's like, yeah, we get it. We saw the building. We saw it. We saw the pine needles. We saw the pine trees. It's awesome. We love it. Let's go in. No. Now we're into the Zillow photos. Now I didn't look before, so I don't know if the Zillow photos have any interior shots, But and now many of them are going to be these postage stamp things. Again, not much benefit to looking at these. So look at what we're going to end up with, my friends. Weren't you dying to get into this thing? See what that 1-bedroom apartment looked like. See what that 3-bedroom thing looked like. Weren't you just dying to get in there? I was, and now we're done. And we never got to see inside the house. So basically what you'd have to do is say, this is a full cosmetic, it's a full general repairs, it needs electrical, it needs plumbing, it needs HVAC, it needs foundation, it needs roof. And then it would be worth $34,000. So if I threw every repair I had at this thing 100%, it would be $90,000 of repair, and it takes me to a $34,000 potential offer, cash offer on the home. What do they want? They want $35,000. In other words, this house has got to be on the inside absolutely destroyed. And I've thrown everything I have at it as far as repairs, and wow. Now we understand why they're looking at it at 35. There's serious issues in there. Everything needs work. Everything. Is it a bad deal? Man, number one, I would say we don't want mobile homes. We don't want mobile homes. You can't flip them. We don't want mobile homes out in the middle of nowhere, which certainly describes, where this thing is. It's miles and miles from population, from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. People go down to Richland Chambers to hang out and fish and have a good time. They don't necessarily live down there, but wow. If you wanted a project, and that project, which I think could be worth over $100,000 by the time you finished your project, could be worth 115, could be worth some of these numbers we saw on Zillow and Realtor, but we didn't know where those numbers were really coming from. I thought that was kind of the odd thing. It wasn't this estimate. It was just they had a number of 179 on Zillow. But guys, I got to tell you, if I was a fisherman, like maybe not an investor, maybe this is not the right house for me as an investor, but it could be the right house for me as a guy that wants a place on Richland Chambers Reservoir. 35 G's, not bad. There's some sort of airport, it said. For real, let's look at that just real quick. Is there an airport out there? I don't see one. Yeah, I do not see one. Never mind. All right, I think we're done with this one, okay? It's like, is it a bad deal? Probably not. Is it something that real estate investors want? Probably not. It is a kind of manufactured, Lego building of a house. Like somebody just kind of started building onto it with Legos. But who knows what's in there? Aren't you dying to know? I'm kind of dying to know. Yeah. I would pay $100 just if they would just let me in now, just so I could see the thing, take some pictures, and share them with you guys. I would do that, but I'm not going to. Hey, if you have any interest in what we're doing here at the Cash Offer Masterclass, go to cashoffermasterclass.com. Click on Get the Calculator. It's just my contact form. It'll tell me who you are. Write a message. Tell me what you're up to. I'll send you the calculator. I'll keep you posted on the things we're doing. You can always click into our full playlist on YouTube for the Cash Offer Masterclass here on the website, and that'll take you here. You can also search Cash Offer Masterclass on YouTube and find it. Guys, this is a new channel. It's a new effort. We're having a lot of fun. We're out the gate. We got a couple of hundred subscribers in the first month, and I think you're about to subscribe, right? I mean, you were just about to reach down there and click that button. Go ahead and do it. Join it. Join us. Join the community. Be a part of the Cash Offer Masterclass. There's no cost. I'm just kind of teaching you guys what I know after many, many, many years of doing this. And we're looking at all kinds of deals in all kinds of places. Our next episode is a special episode. Every 10th episode, I'm doing a special educational class. And the next one is going to be about, is this a good time to buy real estate? I don't know. Is it? Let's see. Let's talk about it. I'll tell you if it's a good time to buy real estate where you are by analyzing a few factors that you can get right off of Zillow. But you got to watch episode 30 to get the secrets of how we do that. You will really enjoy it. I know you will. Guys, that's it for today. Episode 29. We're done. We're heading into 30. And the community is starting to build, and I'm so excited just to be here with you. I just love it. I love everything that we're doing together. I hope you do too. I will talk to you soon. Check out episode 30.